This is King Noble Black Supremacy. With this particular video, I want to talk about how the physical universe is totally symbolic. It is the realm of symbolism. Everything in the universe, in the physical universe, is symbolic of a greater reality, a divine, more sublime reality, an infinite and eternal reality. I will call it an eternal continuum. That everything in the physical universe is symbolic of that. Every aspect of it, every part of it, every parcel of it. All symbols. Symbols of reality. Now, all of these symbols can lead you to the greater reality. That's when they talk about the whole symbol of your third eye and your third eye being open. The purpose of your third eye being open is so that you can see through the symbols into the greater realm, into the transcendental reality. That you can decode these symbols and have insight into the bigger picture. Because reality itself is so much more enormous. It's just a gigantic bigger picture of perfection that the conscious mind in this physical world is incapable of conceptualizing the totality of this infinite reality. So it uses symbols as context clues to give you insight into the nature of reality. So at best, in the physical world, is you can tap into the nature of reality. But reality in and of itself is so much more grand. And I'll give you a lot of examples in this video because I have to break this down because it's very important. That why these are all symbols that can lead you to the transcendental and sublime infinite reality. For some, we can call them disagreeable beings or disagreeable entities. They use the physical world and they use the symbols in the physical world to trap people in the physical world. They get trapped in a prison of symbolism where they start to believe that the symbols represent the truth. And they become symbol chasers, chasing one symbol after the other and locked into just the symbolism. That becomes the totality of their reality. And then their energy is vampirically sucked out of them. Why they are chasing symbols, why they're caught up into the symbolisms, because they're unable to see the divine bigger picture. They're unable to have a breakthrough and enter into a greater perceptual framework to actually become enlightened. So there's some enlightened beings that understand that this is a world of symbolism and has become their playground, and they use the symbols to trap people on this plane. They manipulate the symbols like magicians or wizards to keep you trapped here mentally so you can't ascend. And I'll just give you an example. 99% of consumerism deals with symbolism. Every product you buy is being branded. It has some type of label on it. Some type of symbol. To the point now where you're buying into the symbolism and it's not even about the product anymore. It's not even about the rice or the oatmeal. It's about the symbolism. You're chasing the symbolism now. Every store is a symbol. Look at the symbol of Starbucks, the symbol of Walmart, the symbol of McDonald's, the symbol of Burger King. These are all symbols. These logos, or what you call branding, are symbols. And people have got caught up into the symbolism, like the symbolism has become their reality, their world. So they never know truth. They never know what is behind the symbol. It's like if you saw the Batman symbol in the sky, or you saw the Wu-Tang symbol in the sky, but you never met Wu-Tang. And everybody just gathered once a year around the symbol. And that was the fulfillment of their existence. And they never met Wu-Tang or never knew a Batman. That's what the material world is like. Symbols that actually lead nowhere, that lock you into the symbolism. Capitalism is a prison of symbols. Everything you bind is symbolic of what you want or what you desire or what you want to be identified or associate with. We'll even talk about groups. Every group and every organization, every institution has a symbol. Let's look at your innocent desire to join one of these organizations and groups. And you kind of might know what it's about or have an idea of what you think one of these groups or organizations are about. But then once you join the organization, you see the individuals inside of the organizations and institutions are only caught up into the symbolism of the organization. They don't have no real in-depth knowledge or in-depth insight. They haven't really studied the rules, the codes, the bylaws, whatever. But they just are either obsessed or locked into the symbolism. If consciousness is a key, symbolism is the lock. Consciousness opens up the symbolisms to expand your consciousness into a different world, because you're living a symbolic existence in this physical reality right now. And it's really turned up. The elite has completely locked it into symbolism. You have a symbol for happiness, a symbol for joy, a symbol for enlightenment. Everything's a symbol that leads nowhere. Where it once led to or where it's supposed to go, you're unaware of it anymore. To the point now, people feel that this physical world is the totality of their existence, that this is who they are, that this is life, this is living, and this is only symbolic of what life and existing is. But there's certain type of symbols here where you can be aware of the eternal, the incomprehensible, or the unfathomable. There's certain symbols there. Symbols here that can allow you to have insight into that if you can really open up your consciousness and decode and decrypt and transcend the symbolism. But a lot of times you being sold the symbols over and over again repetitiously to the point where you cannot get to the reality of it anymore, because the symbols have been so pushed on you. And now people are fighting simply over symbols, having nothing at all to do with the truth. Your clothes got symbols on them. What makes the clothes so great to you is the symbol, not even the fabric, not even how it's made, not even the quality of it. A lot of people don't know anything about quality or fabric or any of that. It's just a symbol. They're locked into the symbolism and they're living a symbolic life, which means that they're not living at all. They're only fathoming or entertaining the possibility of existing. And that entertainment of the possibility of existing is being shown by a symbol. A symbol. And that symbol is supposed to encompass the totality of what life is for them, what life means for them, and what their significance and what their purpose is. The family ain't family no more. It's just symbolic of what could be family. Marriage ain't marriage no more. It's symbolic of what could be marriage. A relationship ain't a relationship no more. It's symbolic. We are now trying to live up to the symbolisms that has been put in before our face to manipulate us, to keep us locked into their symbolic reality. So we'll never know life for what it really is. We'll just only know the symbolism. All your holidays are just symbolic. They have nothing to do with the celebration of anything genuine or authentic or anything that is authentic about the human being and the human consciousness, human spirit or heart at this time. They're all symbolic. The elite has you now trapped up into symbolism because they've manipulated symbols. And now you have unnatural symbols that has a person to divest all of their energy, exhaust all of their energy and their time and focus and resources to be associated with a certain symbol, to be able to share in a certain type of symbolic reality that's really empty and really void in and of itself because it's artificial. And then you have nature, that meaning I'm telling you the actual physical universe, even in the sense of nature. The trees, the flowers, the grass, everything in the physical universe, even the things that you consider natural, are symbolic of the spiritual, astral, and ethereal world. It's all just symbolic, pointing to that, leading you to that if you are on the right path. That even the natural world is symbolic. Everything you look at everything what you see is dying. It's on its way out. It's getting ready to die. But it's symbolic of eternal life, of the eternal continuum of life. It is where the eternal continuum of life can be recognized. That what you call life and death here is symbolic of eternity. But you are looking for the totality of your life and death. And death is just a symbol for life. Everything in your physical world is symbolic of the spiritual world, symbolic of the greater reality, of the infinite and eternal existence, the sublime and supernatural totality. Everything physical. But you are caught up into that physical world as being it. This is it. And then by you getting caught up into the physical world as this being it, then the elite come to you with symbols of that, artificial symbols of that physical world. Well, now you're living in a non-physical illusion. You're living in a non-physical conceptualization of reality that was constructed by someone else in order to capitalize off the energy of the masses of people who are asleep. They're asleep because they don't recognize what the symbols are pointing to, what the symbols are alluding to. That's what makes them sleep. Their eyes are not open. They cannot decode, decrypt, or see through the symbolic nature of the universe. So they think that this is it. So they are obsessed with this. They are caught up here and they slave for this. That's your rat race. If this is it for you, I understand why you're a slave. I understand why you're so mad and having anxiety attacks and so depressed and so stressed out, because this is it for you. And if it's not happening for you here, then it's not happening for you nowhere if this is your it. But if you can come into the realization that this is symbolic of the greater it, that this is just a taste, this is just a sample of the greater reality, then you begin to free yourself and liberate your mind. Because now you're letting certain aspects of the transcendental reality slip into this physical world through the symbolisms. Some of these symbols could be vortexes, can be stargates or gateways for the infinite reality to permeate into this particular universe. Some of them can be. But you have to be that open in your consciousness. But if you believe in this material shit, you're not open. You are actually locked in. The symbols have become your prison. The physical world has become your prison. It cannot help you beyond that. It is not your stairway to heaven. It has become your heaven. And it's being marketed to you as your heaven. And you're buying in. And you're selling your soul to those who have mastered being able to market it to you as a heaven. And you're buying into that illusion and selling your soul because you don't understand that this whole physical plane is completely symbolic. It is not real. It is temporary. Totally temporary. The real world is infinite and eternal, but you cannot see that world unless you take on a temporal state. then you can become aware of the eternal from a temporal position. The eternal cannot see the eternal. So you must take on a temporary state and live a symbolic life in a symbolic existence. That could be your catalyst for becoming aware of the eternal, divine, and sublime reality. The masses have been forced to believe in this. They believe in what they see. They don't see that what they're looking at is just a sign, a reflection of the eternal. Everything that you see is a reflection of the eternal reality. Everything. And it's so beautiful. It's so soothing. So enchanting. So mystical. Once you can really tap into that. Because you can live in the eternal, infinite reality right now. The only thing separating you from that is your obsession with symbolism. Is your over-association with the symbolic world. That's the only buffer that's keeping you from seeing the divine and supreme heavenly reality. Is you don't want to let go of the symbolisms. And the symbolisms are being regenerated and being reconfirmed by your association with these institutions and with the matrix. All they're doing is restamping your symbols. They're recertifying, rebranding your mind. And that's the best you're going to get by being attached to their world, is being rebranded, recertified. That's the best that they got for you. And so you have not a sublime existence, you have a certified existence. You exist by association. You exist by validation. You're not in touch with the sublime and infinite reality. You cannot see through this shit. You have to keep renting a pair of glasses. And the fact that you're wearing glasses is symbolic that you're supposed to see something. But you don't see a goddamn thing but the same symbols that everybody else who purchased those glasses see. The same symbolic reality. You just part of a group, a symbolic group. And as mankind, we have become empty. Because we've exalted the symbolic world and the symbols beyond the divine reality. To the point where we can't even differentiate anymore. We can't step into God consciousness right now. We can't step into divine perception. We can't go directly into transcendental meditation and sit with God and sit with the divine creator essence of the universe. We just can't go and do that no more. We're just dealing with the symbols, and we watch all these movies. And we say, well, the movies is giving you the truth. And if you look at these movies, they're telling you the truth. The movies is giving you more symbols and symbols of symbols of symbols of symbols of symbols. And you locked into the symbolic world and you don't even know what it all means. You don't even know where it's going. And you're addicted to more symbols. So you go out and watch more movies that's supposed to be symbolic of what's really going on and what's really happening. And you never know. You never find out. You never make it down the rabbit hole. You never make it down there. And now you're obsessed and addicted to symbolism. See, drugs is a symbolic state of high. True highness is getting to heaven. But the fact that you addicted to the symbolic nature of being high, you never will reach the heights of heights in consciousness. You trapped in symbolism. And a lot of people who believe that they are conscious are actually trapped in symbolism. They're just buying into the symbolisms, going in their bookstores and buying their medallions and linking up with certain organizations, with certain handshakes, certain secret societies. They have not got beyond symbolism. They don't know God. They can't see the face of God. They can't hold the purest of purest thoughts. They caught up into the symbolisms. King Noble Black Supremacy wants to take you beyond the symbolism, beyond the symbol prison, the prison of symbols. And I want to take you in beyond the nature of reality, where you can see the ultimate reality for yourself of heaven and bliss and ecstasy and perfection and synchronicity, the implicit order of things. I want to take you beyond that. The symbols. But you have to stop believing in the symbolic world and stop trying to be in a world that's validated by people who are obsessed with a symbolic life, a symbolic existence. That they can let you know, yeah, they can keep you linked into the symbol. They can keep shining the symbols in your face as though that has anything to do with truth and justice and reciprocity and love and honor and integrity. And all they have is symbols. All they live in is in a symbolic existence. You got to ask yourself, do you want a true existence or do you want existence? Because right now, everything we doing, everything we living is all symbolic of something. That's why it's so empty when you get to it and you get into it. It's so damn empty. You say, why is this shit so empty? I bought what they had on the commercial. I joined the organization they told me to join. And when I got there, it was empty. But the symbol was so beautiful. But it's empty at the end of the day. So then you know what you do? You go out and you chase another symbol. You find another symbol and another symbol and another symbol, and you never go beyond symbolism because you can't entertain authentic, organic, sublime, and divine reality. This is King Noble Black Supremacy. Stay tuned. This is just part one. I'm going to take you beyond the trap and the prison of symbolism of this physical world that is being perpetuated by those who are capitalizing off people's ignorance of the nature of reality.